At the start of the film, we see a man walking down the road toward the forest. Suddenly, someone appears behind him, opens a knife, and attacks him violently. The attacker repeatedly stabs the man and then drags him into a van. The scene then transitions to the next morning, where we see a van parked in the forest. It belongs to Keith, who has come camping with his family. Keith is cooking food for his family and they begin eating, but his daughter, Amy, refuses to eat. She talks to someone on the phone and then walks off into the forest. Meanwhile, two men who live nearby approach the family. They ask Keith about their missing companion, the same man we saw being attacked the night before. Keith responds, "No, sorry. We haven't seen anyone. We just arrived here for camping." It's clear that Keith is trying to avoid them, but then his son comes over and offers them chocolates. They accept the chocolates and just then Amy returns. Keith tells Amy to go sit in the van. As soon as they see her, the men say, "Why don't we take a look inside your van? We suspect our friend might be there." Keith stays calm and replies, "Sorry, but we're in a hurry now." Hearing this, the two men quietly return to their car and drive away. Keith and his family quickly pack their bags and also leave for home. They reach halfway and encounter the same two men again. The men are fixing their car and this time one of them is holding a gun. Seeing this, Keith's wife gets scared and asks him to turn the van around, but instead, Keith keeps driving forward. The men approach the van and say, "Our van is broken. If possible, could you give us a lift? You'll be passing through our town." Noticing Keith's anxious expression, the man realizes they're afraid of his shotgun. So he says, "Not both of us, just give a lift to one of us." He points and continues, "This is my friend Billy. His house is on the way to town. Once he gets there, he'll come back to pick me up. And don't worry about the gun, it stays with me." Keith's wife still doesn't want a stranger in their van, but after thinking it over, Keith agrees. Billy gets into the van and starts chatting with Keith's son. While talking, he mentions that his uncle and two daughters live in his house, and they love welcoming guests. At that moment, Keith's son is holding a notepad, which Billy suddenly snatches from his hands. But as soon as he sees it, Billy is shocked. It's the same notepad that belonged to his missing companion, the one we saw killed the night before. Before Billy can fully grasp the situation, Keith's son, without hesitation, stabs him in the shoulder with two knives and kills him. Now, a major twist in the story is revealed. The family we thought was innocent is actually a group of dangerous serial killers. Every member of the family is a murderer. The man who was killed that night was murdered by Keith's son. Even the meat they were eating during their camping trip was human flesh. In simple terms, they are not just serial killers, they are cannibals. But because of their normal appearance, no one ever suspects them. After killing Billy, the family chops his body into small pieces and stores them in the freezer, because that's their food. At this point, Keith's wife gives Billy's eye to their daughter. Seeing this, Keith's son asks, "Why are you giving the eye to her? I'm the one who killed him, it should be mine." But Keith's wife replies, "I'm giving it to Amy because she has self-control. She doesn't kill anyone without a reason." Suddenly, Billy's phone starts ringing. Out of frustration and anger, Keith smashes it. Later, they arrive at Billy's house, the one he mentioned earlier, where his family lives. They knock on the door and two girls open it. The elder one is Julie Ann and the younger is Savannah. Putting on innocent faces, Keith and his family say, "Actually, our van broke down. If you don't mind, could we stay at your place for a while?" Before Julie Ann can respond, Savannah interrupts and says, "Just a little further down the road, there's a town where you can stay." But Keith's wife replies, "No, we met Billy, your brother, on the way. He told us to come here." Hearing their brother's name, the sisters allow them inside. They offer them food, but the family doesn't enjoy it. After all, they're used to consuming human flesh. Ordinary food doesn't satisfy them. Later, Keith politely asks, "If you don't mind, I'd like to use your phone." Their uncle responds, "Actually, there's only one phone in the house, and it's with Billy. When he returns, he'll let you make a call and help you reach your destination." While they eat, Savannah starts questioning them. "If you met Billy on the road, why didn't he come home with you?" Keith's wife answers calmly, "He was walking back to help a friend. He just gave us the address and left." But Savannah isn't convinced. Her questions keep coming one after another. Growing tired and suspicious of her interrogation, the family becomes agitated. In a moment of frustration, they begin reaching for their hidden weapons, ready to kill Savannah. But just then there's a knock at the door. A tall, muscular man enters the house. The family freezes, visibly shaken, because facing a strong man like him is never part of their plan. This man is Julie Ann's fiancé. Seeing him, they quickly hide their weapons and pretend everything is normal. The scene then shifts to Billy's friend, the one they left on the road. He keeps trying to call Billy, but the phone is switched off. Now Billy's friend, the man left behind on the road, starts to feel anxious. Suddenly, a policeman approaches and offers him a lift. But the man refuses. He doesn't trust or like this officer. After the policeman drives away, the man starts vomiting. And it's because of the chocolate he had eaten earlier, the one Keith's daughter had given him. Something wasn't right with it. The scene then shifts back to Billy's house. Inside, when Amy goes to the washroom, the eye her mother had gifted her, Billy's eye, accidentally falls into the bathroom without her noticing. She walks out unaware. Outside the bathroom, she sees Savannah. Amy begins interacting with her, in a way that hints at romantic interest. While they're talking, Julian arrives and tells them it's time to sleep. Before bed, Savannah sits down at the piano and plays beautifully, which leaves Amy deeply impressed. After that, everyone heads to their rooms for the night. Meanwhile, Keith's wife is visibly worried. She doesn't want to kill this family. Their rule had always been clear. They only kill people who are a burden to society, criminals, immoral individuals, those with no purpose. But tonight they were planning to break that rule. Keith tries to calm her down. Don't overthink it, he says. These people are a burden. Just look at their lifestyle. No ambition, no direction, no goals. Trust me, everything will be fine. After that, Keith goes to speak with his son. The one we already know is emotionally unstable and deeply affected by everything. Keith tells him, "You'll kill Julianne. I'll take care of her fiancé. He's a strong man and I'll handle him myself. But don't do anything until I give you the signal. If we act out of sync, it'll create chaos." Amy was in Savannah's room, admiring the awards Savannah had won, most of them for marksmanship. Her aim was incredibly precise. They were talking casually, unaware of the chaos unfolding elsewhere in the house. Meanwhile, Keith had quietly entered the room of Savannah and Julianne's father. Sensing something off, their father tried to scream. But before he could make a sound, Keith silenced him forever by striking him with an axe. At the same time, Keith's son launched an attack on Julianne's fiancé, despite Keith's instructions to wait for the signal. As the man was still vomiting, Keith stabbed him in the shoulder from behind. When the fiancé turned around in shock, Keith's son drove a knife into his chest, then slit his throat and finally stabbed him in the neck, killing him brutally. Although Keith had forbidden him from confronting such a strong man alone, he was impressed by how easily his son carried out the murder. As a twisted reward, Keith cut out the man's tongue and gifted it to his son. Back in Savannah's room, Amy went to sleep beside her. But in the darkness, she pulled out a knife, planning to kill Savannah. Savannah, completely unaware, accidentally pushed Amy, causing the knife to wound Amy herself. Seeing Amy injured, Savannah panicked and quickly bandaged the wound. Concerned, she left the house to find proper first aid. Amy, touched by Savannah's kindness, began to feel conflicted. Could she really kill someone who cared about her so genuinely? Meanwhile, Savannah spotted the family's van parked nearby. Curious and uneasy, she approached it, and inside, she discovered the body of Julianne's fiancé. Horrified, Savannah finally realized the truth. This entire family were serial killers, and they had come here to wipe them out. The scene then shifts. We see Julianne heading to the bathroom to vomit. But there, something catches her eye. Billy's eye, accidentally dropped by Amy earlier, lying near the sink. Seeing the eye in the bathroom, Julianne immediately realizes something is terribly wrong. Their lives are in danger. Terrified, she rushes to her father's room, only to discover his lifeless body. In shock, she screams, but before she can call for help, Keith grabs her from behind, covering her mouth. He drags her to his wife and orders her to kill Julianne. But Keith's wife hesitates. She doesn't want to murder an innocent girl. Before she can make a decision, an arrow suddenly pierces her neck. Savannah, having learned the truth, had armed herself and fired the shot from her room. Hearing the commotion, Amy rushes in and is horrified to see her mother dead. Grief and rage consume her. She blames herself. If I had just killed Savannah while she slept, Mom would still be alive. But it's not too late yet. The family decides they must finish the job, kill the remaining girls and burn the house to cover their tracks. They begin torturing Julianne, using her screams to lure Savannah back. Savannah does return, but she's not unprepared. She holds Keith's son at knife point, pressing the blade against his throat. Then comes another twist. Savannah has already called the police using the family's own phone. She had taken the risk before coming face to face with them. Seeing this, Keith grabs Julie and then holds a knife to her neck. It becomes a deadly standoff. Savannah knows she can't kill anyone in cold blood. It's not who she is. So, to protect her sister, she releases Keith's son. In return, Keith and his son tie the girls up. At this point, it becomes clear. This family isn't just murderous. They're full-blown psychopaths. The torture begins. Keith brings in the tongue of Julie Ann's fiancé, freshly fried, and cruelly demands that the girls eat it. When Julie Ann refuses, Keith severs her thumb and starts sucking on it grotesquely. Then he turns to Savannah and insists she eat it. But Savannah remains composed. She distracts him by saying, "Maybe you don't know, your daughter is into girls." This revelation hits Keith like a thunderbolt. Blinded by rage and shame, he turns on his own daughter. And a violent confrontation erupts between father and daughter. Meanwhile, Savannah uses the chaos to her advantage. She manages to free herself, grabs a fork and stabs it straight into Keith's eye. Keith, being the complete psychopath he is, doesn't scream. Instead, in a horrifying display, he pulls the fork from his eye and eats the eyeball. During the fight, Billy's friend, the one left stranded on the road, finally arrives at the house. He senses something's wrong and enters cautiously. Upon witnessing the gruesome scene, he launches into a fight with Keith. On the other side of the house, Keith's son begins dousing everything with kerosene. But he spots Billy's friend entering and rushes back inside, only to be intercepted by Savannah. Savannah drags him to the kitchen where she burns his hand on the stove. Then, without hesitation, she throws boiling water on his face. Disoriented and in pain, the boy weakens, and Savannah seizes the moment, pressing on his throat until she kills him. She had eliminated one of her enemies. But in the other room, the battle between Keith and Billy's friend continued. Though wounded, Billy's friend fights with grit and finally overpowers Keith, stabbing him in the head and killing him. However, just as he begins to catch his breath, Julie Ann appears from behind and strikes his head violently with a hammer. He collapses, dead. The two sisters, Savannah and Julie Ann, lock eyes, exhausted, traumatized, but relieved to be alive. But the horror isn't over. They both know Amy is still out there, and she's just as dangerous. Suddenly, Amy appears behind Julie and viciously stabs her to death. Now only Savannah is left. Amy turns to her, knife in hand. Savannah quickly grabs her bow and prepares to fire an arrow. But Amy sprints outside the house to escape. Just then, police cars arrive, sirens blaring. Savannah had called them, but she used Amy's phone to do so. The officers see Amy covered in blood and wrongly assume she's the victim. Savannah, holding a weapon, looks like the aggressor. Completely misjudging the situation, the police open fire, and Savannah is killed on the spot. The police officer radios his headquarters and reports, "The villagers killed an innocent tourist family. The scene is secure." But before he can say more, Amy appears silently behind him and stabs him to death. Now she is truly free. Her entire family is dead, but she survived. Without emotion, Amy takes her family's van, pours kerosene throughout the house, and sets it on fire, destroying all the evidence of their crimes. As flames engulf the house behind her, Amy drives away into the darkness. The screen fades to black. The story ends here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intense recap videos.